Okay, all the buttons.
Excellent, excellent. Let's just wait another minute until we have everybody log in and join us. Welcome, welcome. We're excited to see everybody today. Hope that everybody's keeping their head above the water because I know it's a very busy time of the semester. So hope everybody's doing well. It's great to see all you today. I hope everybody's good and nice and healthy. Hopefully everybody's getting their vaccines if that's something you want to do. And hopefully your family and your friends are all feeling good right now. So let's just wait maybe one more minute and then we'll get going. We have a robust meeting today. Really excited. We're doing something a little different and we hope that everybody finds it effective. But welcome. Please make sure that you introduce yourselves in the chat right now. And you know what? Why don't we go ahead and get going?
Sure.
That sounds
Before we
good?
do, yeah, and really quickly before we fully get started, I just want to say a happy birthday to Kathleen. I know yesterday was your birthday, so happy birthday,
Happy
Miss
birthday,
Kathleen.
Kathleen.
Okay, well, jump in. Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to watch the waiting room as well. We are running everything a little different today. So we are going to do our quick introductions and check-ins with you all. And again, as you're saying hello in the chat box, if there are questions that you had, that you've been kind of sitting on or stewing on or through this process, please let us know in the chat box. We're also going to do a little something different. There's so much going on at each site, and we just kind of want to make sure we hear more from you. So our hope today is we're going to kind of flip our meeting in the fact that we are going to start out with some collaboration breakout rooms, small groups, not for very long, but really just to kind of hear where your thoughts are right now on your semester, how things are going, and if there's anything that we can do to continue to support and add in extra components or just share out new ideas, or if you have some amazing ideas that we haven't gotten to hear yet, we would love to hear those as well. So again, kind of flipping the meeting a little bit and trying to be more inclusive to hearing what is going on at your sites through this process. So in our collaboration breakout rooms, we're going to do a couple of things. We are not a large group today, which is kind of nice. So what we would like to do is we're going to break out based on the 3 or 4 of us that are here right now. And I don't know, is Kim on the call yet? I don't see Kim yet. We're going to
might not be here. I'm sorry, Shannon. I didn't mean to interrupt. She might not be here yet, but she is intending to.
Okay. I was going to put her in as one of the breakout rooms. So we're going to run those breakout rooms, but we're going to do this through a Jamboard. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that by now. I am not. My college is totally not anything Google related. So I learned this week, and my intentions are kind of twofold. We want to be able to get immediate feedback there within that process, but at the same time, I'm kind of using this as my trial and error as we're presenting at a conference next week. I want to make sure that we're using the Jamboard appropriately and that it makes sense. So please let me know if something is not functioning right, and I will try to jump in and fix that. And then I'm super excited. A little later in the call, Dr. Kimberly Bly will be on the call with us. Kim comes from Bakersfield College, and she has been just instrumental at their college in developing their education program. She came alongside our college through some work through TPP about 4 or 5 years ago, and it just exploded in stackable certification options at their college and what they're offering. So she is going to kind of go over the steps that she took to get there and share what that looks like at their college. She gave me all of her information to share with you all. So if you want to get in touch with her later, she is willing to meet with you as well. So very excited to have her coming in a little while to share with us.
She's doing such awesome stuff. I can't wait for everybody to hear about it, honestly, because so much of what she's got going on, people are going to want to adapt and adopt, or at the very least be totally inspired. And so don't feel like it's not a to-do list, everybody. It's some inspiration is the intention. So we're excited for Kim later today.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very exciting what they're doing. So again, we want to hear from you. Any concerns, questions, goals, We want your goals to also be part of our goals as we're developing, in the fact that this community of practice, we need each other to do that, right? In this crazy time. So making sure that we can continue to expand and create together. So within that, I think all I have to do is share this link in the chat box, right? So again, sorry, I'm not big with the whole using Google products. We're so behind the times. I'm going to copy the link and add it into the chat box for you all. And then I'm hoping, my intent is that the person in your room will be the person taking the notes, unless you want to post a question there that we don't necessarily get a chance to answer right away. Does anybody have any questions before we get started? Kathleen, I know you have a small window. Do you have time to do this with us? Okay. Well, I'm going to put us into 4 rooms, and then I'll just make sure we all are in a room. Okay. Oh, great. So Gina's on the call as well. Gina, I'm going to put you in room 4, and I'll join you in just a minute. But I got to make sure I get everyone where they need to be first. Oh, yay. Someone's testing out. I love it. Awesome. Megan, is that you? Oh, it is.
Yes.
I love it. You're so organized.
Sorry, that was my 14-year-old troubleshooting for me because I have a computer issue.
So we are all in a breakout room, it looks like. And so our task then will be for us to be the note takers in there and help out with that process. So I want to say about 10 to 15 minutes. I'll try to jump in each room and see how conversations are going, but please use this time to share how things are going and let us know how we can continue to support. So I'm going to pause the recording, Renee, until we come back. It's always wonderful to get to have these meetings and hear from you all and get feedback and continue to support where we can, but having that smaller setting and really getting to dive in with some conversations with you all was wonderful. So thank you for allowing us to flip the meeting and do something different this time around. I'm excited to go visit that Jamboard and work through and read to see what's there. We are actually super excited because Kim is here with us. I'm working on opening that presentation back up. I lost it when the power went out. Okay. And before
I think I was going to do my thing really quickly.
You are. I'm going to get there. Yep. So before we get there, yeah, Kathleen has been able to work so hard on developing a resolution for ECE and EDU, and they have a white paper that has been wonderful. So I'm excited to share that. I have that here. And then if you want to talk about that, Kathleen, I would love to hear from you.
Okay. So I'll just briefly mention, I'll put it in the chat also, the link. I have the link to the most recent iteration. Every time we've shared it, there's been some edits. So I just keep updating. We have 5 colleges that are going to be discussing this resolution at their local levels, maybe more. We're trying to get a handle on by when. And then I'm sending this forward to the regional academic senate. So the process at the community colleges, I know we have some CSUs here, is that a community college brings forth a resolution and then it's discussed at their college, then the region, and then it goes to the state. And it's advisory, they're filled with whereases, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but this resolution has to do with us asking that based on the governor's plan that was released, the master plan that was just released, and I put the resolution link in the chat, that we're aware there will be sweeping expansions of both childcare, transitional kindergarten, et cetera, that we already have a significant role in preparing the workforce and preparing the EC and the EDU workforce. That here's the one I want to really focus on for International Women's Day. That we rank 5th in terms of sectors, priority sectors. In career technical ed, we have 146,000 students in the California community colleges engaged in EDU and ECE courses. We're 5th for degree and certificate completion of the 10 priority areas. Priority areas get things like a sector navigator or director. They get a TAP, a technical assistance provider, and they have funding available for their sector. And right now we don't have any of that. And yet we rank 5th in terms of students. For my International Women's Day pitch, I'm going to say that we're a primarily female sector. When you look at our student populations, significant numbers of female, significant numbers of disproportionately impacted students, highest percentage of female at 83%, 67% are non-white, 78% are economically disadvantaged, highest number of all 10 sectors. So when you look at who we are and what we bring to the table, women of color, disproportionately impacted students, and we're asking for more support. We're asking that the Academic Senate have a voice in advising the State Chancellor's Office to not only better support this sector, but provide some of the financial supports that other sectors get. We've also clarified that COVID has destabilized our entire sector, and the loss of in-class instruction, childcare, after-school care, et cetera, has destabilized the workforce, and that we play a major role in preparing this workforce in both EDU and ECE. And this sector is defined by the State Chancellor's Office as education and human development. So we're aligned, ECE and EDU, under that definition. This talked about the shortages within the sector prior to the pandemic. We already had labor shortages projected, and the pandemic has worsened them all. So the resolves are that the Academic Senate work with the State Chancellor's Office, the Commission on Teacher Credentialing, the Governor, Early Childhood Policy Committee to strengthen our role, strengthen our pipelines, support us, that they prioritize, the Academic Senate support the prioritization of this sector, and provide some supports, and that the Academic Senate itself statewide provide things like website hosting, sector-specific meetings, sector-specific conferences, data sharing, sector-specific training that they do in some of the other sectors. So we're just saying, we're here, we're large, we deserve support. And so hopefully this makes it through, and hopefully it makes a difference.
Kathleen, I'll tell you, we're excited about this. I've been working with my child development instructor. She's runs the whole ECE program. So, and I run our entire ed program. So together we're collaborating and taking this to our Academic Senate and working together. So if you can work with both ECE and EDU, it'll strengthen even more. Yeah. And being able to help them see the prioritization of this and the need is huge for sure. So yeah. Thank you so much for this.
I think it's important that we let everybody know this is not about taking the two and making them one. No. It's not about that. It's about taking two entities, putting them under one umbrella so we can go get funds and we can be strong and powerful because we're making an impact. I mean, look, we're the top 5 out of the top 10 and we're not even recognized. So it's like us saying, like, it's time. So don't be, I know there's a lot of disequilibrium and there's a lot of discussion about this, everybody, but this is really moving us in the right direction. And it'll give us a lot of opportunity to kind of define regionally what this looks like.
It's being introduced also under CTE, Career Technical Ed, and CTE, ECE has always been under CTE. EDU doesn't quite fit, and it's because you need to transfer and get advanced degrees to be an EDU. But all of our jobs that lead to EDU, like being a teacher assistant, being a tutor, working in after school, all those jobs are community college preparation jobs. So we're just trying to say, hey, ECE, EDU, we have the students, whether they stop out after the 2-year degree or keep going, we need more of them, and we need more support. So, okay, that's it.
Thank you so much.
The link's in the chat, and please, if you want to bring it to your academic senates, you could put your name on it, take it away, and
Awesome. Thank you. Renee has one quick announcement. I think it's opening for you, Renee.
Yes, thank you so much. Really quickly, if anybody has a couple minutes to spare on Friday, the Foster and Kinship Care program that supports foster and kinship care coordinators throughout the state of California and our community college system, they have a conference this Friday where they are doing some networking, and they're desperately in need of volunteers who can help facilitate a discussion at a table. It's going to be online. It would be literally logging in. There's 3 different times we're looking for people to help, between 10 to 10:20 on Friday, 10:50 to 11:10 on Friday, or 11:50 to 12:10 on Friday. And when I'm done talking, I will put the link in the chat here. I've tried to put this out everywhere to see if we can get volunteers to help. And we only have a few people so far, and I have to get this to the chancellor's office at 4 o'clock today. So if there's anybody on here who'd be willing to volunteer, it would literally be like, it's 10 to 10:20. If you choose that time, you'd be logging on at probably 9:55, and you'd be logging off at 10:20. It's going to be solid ends, and you're going to be sitting virtually at a table with up to 7 people, and just talking about the different topics. So if anybody can help, I would be so indebted to you. I helped with this conference last year. It's a fantastic conference. And when my colleague from the chancellor's office said, hey, can you help us? I said, let me put it out to the field and see who can volunteer a few minutes of time for a discussion with other educators in our system. So I'll put the link in the chat in just a minute. If you can volunteer, please sign up today, because as I said, after this meeting, I have to send this to the chancellor's office, but your emails will only go to the chancellor, to Rena up in the chancellor's office. Everything will be safe. And we appreciate anybody who's willing to help out on Friday. Thanks, Shannon, for letting me say it.
No problem. Again, we gotta work together through this. Okay, so again, another quick component. See, Megan, this is why I need you. I'm so not good with the time. I talk too much. Working through this in the time frames, I want to get to Kim. So if you have any virtual plans for graduation, regalia plan ideas, I know apples were thrown out, like apple pins to pin on regalia, different cord colors, anything that you're doing for gift ideas or graduation plans, please add that to that Jam board that we began with today. And I'll put together an email to send out to everyone with ideas and concepts to support our graduates this spring.
That would be perfect. We can follow up with that at our next meeting in April.
Yes, and then we'll continue as you're working through some of those virtual components on the 45 hours of observation in that course. Please add the questions that you're creating for those videos, and we'll embed them into that course and make a new update. So we have 15 minutes for Kim time, and I'm so thankful that you're here, Kim. It was exciting when Kim came on, and back when life was normal, and they'd come out to our campus and we get to meet and hang out. And every time that she came, I couldn't wait to hear from her, because she's just been doing so many amazing things. And to see how much you guys have grown in just a few years has been absolutely awesome. And so we're excited to learn from you today and be inspired from you. So I'm going to stop share. Do you have anything you want to share today? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Let me find it. Okay, so I'm Kimberly, Bly, and I'm the department chair for the education department at Bakersfield College. And I've shared a few times, it seems like I always get down, I need to put myself at the beginning sometime because I always get down like the last 5 minutes and I'm like, okay, never mind, I'll tell you again later. So there'll be a lot, I'll just kind of run through it. Let me find my document because I had it up and then I pulled it down. So let me see. This is a kind of a fluid document. As Shannon said, we actually began as a department, as a full education department in 2018, January. So we're starting our third year. When we started this one education course, the intro course was under what's called our family and consumer department, which housed ECE and this one course. And there was really nothing else on campus. And then we got in on the Education Futures grant, and transitions were happening with basic skills, which was our department. And then in preparation before 2018, we looked into everything and we got a team together that's K-16 institutions that became our advisory. And now we have a lot of classes and programs. As Shannon said, it seems like it's overwhelming, but it was my bucket list to be part of future teaching when I started 34 years ago now in education. And yeah, so I'm hoping to leave behind. I have a great team. This is not me. I just happen to be the name on the department, but by no means could I do this without an amazing team of faculty. So quick rundown, since there's a lot of courses, and I'll send this to Shannon to share with you. If I put it in there, you might not be able to pull it up. These are now all of our current classes. So since 2018, January, starting with one course, these are our courses currently. Can you all see this screen? Yes, thumbs up. Okay, so in here, we have several programs. We have an educational leadership program. We have a general leadership program that covers multiple disciplines, but it was housed in education because they feel like we're the great leaders. So that's a compliment to you all as well. We have 3 levels of paraprofessional certificates. When I believe it was Kathleen was saying that our teacher assistants, our teacher aides, and all those are community college products. Well, they definitely are at Bakersfield College, literally, because we're starting them in early college, coming to BC and getting these certificates, which will lead to a local degree. So as you know, some of the requirements for the ADT are very strict, and we have trouble filling those courses that are really hard to find faculty for. So we decided that we would do a different pipeline that would be a paraprofessional to teacher. And anything I say comes out of our advisory. So these are our people who are hiring teachers and the teacher aides, and they're the ones who said, we want this, we want this, we want this, as well as our local districts. And if you don't know, Bakersfield area, we have like 45 elementary school districts. So they're all under KCSOS. So they all kind of fall under there. So we work directly with KCSOS. And by the way, placing students for their observations is a literal nightmare because every district has to have their own MOU. And some districts are 3 schools, some districts are 30 schools, and it's been a challenge. I would say I didn't know what I got into, but I didn't know what I got into when it came to the placements. I think that's the most difficult part when we have 150 to 200 students to place every semester. But these are our courses, and you can get this list, and you can pull up our website and look through the catalog for descriptions. So I'll just kind of point out some groupings. So one of the first groupings you'll see is we took our tutor training, which was under academic development, which was our basic skills area, and we gave it its legitimate home with an education title and everything. So those are courses we've had with tutor training forever. We just renamed them so now they fit. We do have this B8, which is actually a GE, UC, CSU transferable course. We're very excited to be a Gen Ed because that's a first. Getting a Gen Ed in at BC is, it's not just a tug of war. It's like when you go and you've got knights and you've got, armor and everything trying to get your GE in, and because it's a lot of competition to have an area where you have competition with other courses, but everybody was really gracious and we got in with the gen ed, and we're actually with that course in with the new gen ed area that the CSUs are putting out with, I think it's F, we put in for that. So we're waiting to hear back on that. So these are the programs that we currently have, and the only one that we had when we started was the ADT, which most people have at their colleges, and that's our elementary teacher education transfer degree, which we have a finish in 4 articulation with CSUB, so that all of our courses transfer directly in with CSUB, and they can finish in 2, or sooner with early college. This is our online teaching certificate. This is new as of last fall. We've had about 400 faculty at BC go through. Because of the pandemic and the shutdown, our college paid all the faculty stipends to complete 3 courses, which you can look up the certificate more closely, but it's levels of pedagogy and online teaching. So even though a lot of teachers have been teaching a long time online, we know that they haven't necessarily had the background in curriculum and instruction that a credentialed teacher gets. So they leaned on us to kind of give that guidance. And then we worked with our academic technology department to provide the tools and the training for using the tools, and then we are applying the tools. So it's been a great union, and we have hundreds of people have already gone through since last fall, including some K-12 folks that went through for professional development. And then we have our paraprofessional, which was one of the first ones, Shannon, that I shared about a year ago. This came out. We have 3 levels. We have a 4th one that's in the approval process, and the courses that go with it. If you go to the website, you can see the exact requirements for those. But they are, again, they're like, just to give you an example, B10 Foundations in Education Technology, B3 Roles and Responsibilities of the Paraprofessional, kind of the intro course. B5 is Learning in Math and Science, and then B8 is in there, and then B9 is a cool one. It's the literacy one. Where's my B9? Oh, there's B9, Foundations of Literacy. These are designed for the person working with students with all different age levels. So they're just, how do students learn, so that when they're assisting in the classroom as an aide or a teacher assistant or yard duty, that they're learning about how these students think and learn. And so all of our teachers, most of our teachers that teach these courses, well, they all have education degrees, master's degrees, some doctorates, and most of our teachers are credentialed teachers like myself. I taught elementary school for 20 years before moving to BC. We have level 2, so we add on, and we add level 3 where we start bringing in our ECE and some of our gen eds, our golden 4s, math and English and critical thinking. And then level 4 brings in more gen ed. So we give them a foundation first of education, and then we bring in the gen eds, which they probably have already done. So as they're doing ours, they're completing their gen eds, and they have certificates that are kind of ready-made for them, because we just basically follow the natural, and we have a lot of options, unlike the ADT, so they can choose multiple courses for those electives and such. And so here's the ones that we're still in approval. We have a teaching at California community colleges that was requested by the community, that we want professional development for people who are interested coming out of CSU to teach community college, giving them some pedagogy and curriculum and instruction of how to be a good college student a teacher in whatever field they're going into, biology, STEM, nursing, whatever it is. So this is brand new. We haven't taught it yet. We're hoping for this fall. And then we have our online teaching level 2 certificate of achievement. We're getting that approved right now. Sorry, the emails are popping up. So that's in the approval queue right now. And then we've got our paraprofessional level 4. The next level after that is the elementary teacher education associate, the education studies associate of science. That's our local degree. Sorry, they're out of order there. I kind of put this together at a earlier yesterday, I think it was. And then we have another program that's in the approval queue, which is a couple of leadership courses that are more general, but housed in education for any discipline. So we have a certificate of completion for that. We have a non-credit one in the approval, and we'll give the option for credit. We like to give the non-credit because a lot of people taking these courses are coming back to the community college. We're trying to serve the community as well as the incoming students coming in from high school. So there's a lot of interest in BC in actual community leadership development. This one is fully in the development process right now. We've got 3 courses that are in the development stage, and then they will lead to an applied leadership certificate of completion. We had a person, a politician, retired politician, came to us and really wanted to head up something that would reach out to the community and bring community leaders in and say, hey, you know, let's go back and take a look at these courses at BC and see if we can't give you some background in general leadership. So again, they keep coming to the education department and seeing us as the leaders of the college. So I think that's pretty cool. And those are kind of the highlights of what we're doing. And I did put in descriptions of a lot of these programs in here for you. Course descriptions I didn't put in, but I did put in the heading here, the link to our education website, the department website. So there's a lot there. And usually that's it and I say goodbye, but I guess I can field some questions instead this time.
My question is, do you ever sleep? Oh, no.
I have a strong team. There's only 11 of us full-time people, and we are stretched to our limit. I'm actually director of the TRIO grant and just finished a Title V grant full-time. So all my department chair stuff is my overload and my director, and then I teach one class in there. So I have to rely on some really good, strong faculty to make all this happen, because we really aren't that big of a department when you look at what we're doing here.
For sure. Yeah, is there any questions? There was one question in the chat box, but it was about, you know, having those certificates improving chances of students getting hired in a school district.
Yeah, so the reason those courses are in place is because we went to our advisory, or the ones who are hiring, and they said if they have these courses on their resumes, then we will hire them above other people, knowing that they have had this training. So the only reason we created those paraprofessionals at all is because KCSOS and Bakersfield City, and which KCSOS is representing all of those 40 some districts I told you about. They're the ones who said, we want these things. And we haven't offered yet, but one of the other ones they requested and I think it's in level 4, the social emotional learning and special populations. Those were high on their list. It just took us longer to get there with creating some of these. Just like you said, there's so much going on, but we got there, and those were all approved by our advisory before we made them. And now, and then we go to them for everything. We say, here's a certificate, here's this, you know, look at the course outline of this. Is there something missing? So nothing we do is past what the advisory is saying, this is what we want. So yeah, we tell the students, look, we can't say you're going to get a raise with this, but you are going to get more units, and those units do apply to levels of promotion in the job. But if you take a high school student right out of high school, and you take a high school student who's got their certificate walking out of high school, or a couple of these courses, we've been told by the, you know, Bakersfield City and KCSOS and Panama, yeah, we want those people. We want them to know how to be professionals and what the job means and how students learn. So we feel pretty good. Now, as far as this is new, so we don't have any data yet on that hiring, because we're just getting our first certificates through at this point.
Wonderful. Sharon, did you have a question?
I did. I mean, look, I'm, you know, you come to this and you go, oh my God, we never could do that. But you have 11 people, and I have 2 part-timers, and I'm one of them. And a lot of it, you know, we don't have any more grant money. And, you know, so our focus has always been much more narrow. And we never, I mean, a lot of these courses are fabulous, but I just, now I'm feeling really bad. Maybe we should have gone in this direction, but I always say, well, we're going to limit it to what goes on a credential and what goes someplace, and can it go like to 2 schools, you know, meaning, you know, we deal mostly with Fullerton and Long Beach and Chico maybe, but this is, I mean, it's fabulous. And and it's, you know, it's an idea, but I don't see that I'll ever get there.
Well,
Well, it started with one course in a department taught by one faculty member. What happened was changes were made by law, and we were forced to become an education program. And we already had faculty who already had education degrees teaching basic skills. And when basic skills was pulled out, my entire department was gone. And that is a department that's been there for 30 years. And we were doing all the basic skills on campus: math, English, every basic skills below college level. But we were all pretty much credentialed teachers. And so in seeing what was coming down the pipeline of basic skills being pulled, we were proactive and we jumped into, but when we started this, there was one course and our teachers didn't have any load at all. They had to teach in other departments where they could. They had to work in tutoring labs and put in, 30 hours a week in labs as this was going. There has been a lot of hardship. A lot of this has been put on us that we did not do, like all the online, because the pandemic, the need came and they said, do this. So we are stretched to our limit. 11 sounds like a lot, but when you look at the number of courses, it's like,
No, I mean, you
we're
know what?
struggling to stay alive right now to meet these needs, but by no means we are a big college. We're 37,000 students, and we have not just our students, because they're taken care of. All we could provide them was our one education course. All the rest of their courses were provided outside of the department. So there wasn't any control of what we could do for them. So we're like, what can we do? Well, we can provide some electives for them to offer. And so we just started thinking outside of the box and going, look, these people are really struggling to get through the ADT, because we had no control over the geography course and these courses that we can't get. So we said, let's find a different pipeline that we can use what's there. Most of it's gen ed. Now, all these other certificates of online and leadership and all that, yeah, I mean, they couldn't have
I
done
love
that.
that.
To
That's
us.
like it was in my doctoral program.
Yeah, and it's exciting, and only reason we can do it is because we started with people and we were able to do it. But
And
by
you'll
no
fill these
means
classes, or you don't have a worry about filling any of these classes. They'll go, right?
well, they're very good about new classes of letting them start small, but we also offer some of them in early college. So we have a strong early college program, and where a lot of those paraprofessional courses were filled by high school students. So, but we were teaching them there. We were teaching
Right.
the courses, not the high school. So it's a lot of collaboration, creative thinking. Filling them is it takes thinking outside of the box. How are we going to fill this course? Because if we just opened it, the only one that fills like without even thinking about it, people love that Foundations in Ed Technology. That one just seems to fill. People take that course and we don't even have to advertise it. But some of these others require advertising and training people to teach it and create, like, the course gets approved in August and they're teaching it 2 weeks later. So they have to create all the shells. So it's been challenging. And the money did not support creating this. The people who were there did. The money just helped myself and a couple people have, I could pay some people to do research and find time, but most of it is just, we're lucky that we were kind of a self-made department when we started. We did not build an education faculty. We built the courses within what we had from being broken from basic skills. So yeah, it's a lot, but like I said, that comes with its challenges. I mean, try placing 200 students in 45 school districts, and and having MOUs having to be separate for each one. And I mean, it's definitely challenging.
I got to ask one other question, because I'm from Coastline, and we started, in the year 2000, and it was to attract people who could not attend face-to-face classes or at a special time for very good reason. And so we built an online program. So of course we're suffering now because we're not Zoom based. We've never been. We're project based, and we do a lot of other things, but we're not. So the pandemic is kind of like, where are our students? We're competing now, and and I'm kind of just like treading water, until after and see where this is all going, because I don't know if everyone's gonna continue online. And so what are you gonna continue online or
These courses were designed to provide online opportunities for students as a pathway, because a lot of these, especially the paraprofessional route, they are working adults with families, and they cannot go to school full time. They could not go to face-to-face courses. They get off work, like regular teaching. So we purposefully designed the majority of these courses to be online available, but we have highly trained, teaching credentialed people, doing this. So we feel okay about this. But yeah, because we're taking care of the students who are the traditional students who walk on campus. We've got that. Most our intro course, we only offer one section online. The other 8-9 sections, we want them in their seats. We want them in the classroom. We want them experiencing the classroom. That's the whole point. But for the paraprofessionals, we just feel like that's the way we're going to meet their needs, because we're also very spread out. Our students come, and our community come from 30 to 50 miles away from each other. And, we have people in Delano, which is 35 miles away, Arvin, which, they can't get to the main campus. We can't.
Oh, right. I get that. I mean, that's why we used to have or we do have a teacher shortage. People say, I want to be a teacher, but
Right.
they can't get to class. So I'm all for that. I don't know, this is the first time that I've ever had, this kind of competition. And so I'm wondering where other people are going to go.
Well, and what we're finding with our students thus far, we know who they are because of all the discussions and chats. They're people right here in our county, in our region, in our area. We're not seeing that we're drawing from anywhere else. I mean, it'd be nice for some of these, like the online teaching, if people in Sacramento and San Diego and those places, oh, I want to get an online teaching certificate from Bakersfield College. But the reality is they don't go outside of the region.
I have for, but it's slow, for college, for working professionals to get a certificate.
Yeah.
By the chancellor's office, and it went through the whole bit. And it's listed in the OI, the CVC directory. But we're not, I want to offer a course and I have to cut another one because the budget.
Yeah.
Where-
We do have a good situation in terms of, because we're a large college, we have a large presence of faculty. I mean, we're in a hiring freeze like everything else, but we were already there. So I mean, I can't hire anybody new in the near future, but yeah, we are fortunate that we do have the resources to offer this, and it's institutionalized, and we don't need special funding for any of this. And that's just because we're, and to tell you the truth, my president has put this program as a model program for the college, and they turn to us. So when you have a support like that, at that level, you're gonna, it's gonna be a little easier than if you're working with a smaller group. And we understand that. We don't mean to. It's like I tell my people teaching online courses, please, remember, don't intimidate the people who have never built a Canvas course. You're a pro with this. Be sensitive and but share and give the tools. And the reason we did this is because of TPP and going and listening to colleges who had more than one course. And we got excited when we only had one, and then we're like, oh, that sounds cooler, maybe we can do that. So we started from one, and yes, we were able to grow big because we had a ton of support. But the enthusiasm, we hope it just makes you excited that there's so much out there for the future of education. And that's the whole point of sharing, which is what we went to. We went to those early education futures and listened in, all intimidated, and like, oh, well, how do we do that? How do we do that? And so it didn't happen overnight. It's been a while.
I know. I mean, we've been at this 20 years, but this is the first time. This is the first time that I have students who say, I'm in your class. It's not personal because I have to be in this online class, and okay, you sounded okay, but I want to see my friends. And this is my youngest, but they want to see their friends. And so I don't know what's going to be after everyone has the vaccine and life maybe turns back to normal. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, we all will.
Yeah.
We'll pretty much keep online with the majority of what we do because we started online and it's successful, and we're getting good reports back from the students. So we feel that same way with our face-to-face. I think we all do.
It
So,
makes sense
sorry.
for your population too, right, Kimberly? Because,
Yes.
you know, and it was, I think at that point, our focus when we had those conversations was around our paraprofessionals and really supporting those returning adults. And you guys just knocked it out of the park. So it's phenomenal. There is one more question in the chat box from Leah. She wants to know if the work experience education is similar to cooperative work experience in education.
You know, that course just came out fresh right before the shutdown. So but basically that course is designed just for education so that we can give credits that are part of, if you look at our certificates, that's in there as able to get some of the credits for the certificates, that they are working in a classroom and they actually get college credits for it. So it's designed for being in a classroom setting, and that could be in the virtual setting, but you know what? There's just too much going on for us to have tried to set that up right with the shutdown happening right then. So that's one of our first tasks, hopefully in fall, where we can get that out to people going, look, you know, not just waive your hours, but also give you some college credits that you can get towards a certificate. So we haven't taught that yet, just because good old COVID jumped in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Kimberly. I have just enjoyed watching all that you guys have been able to do, and you know, sitting there with you going, oh, okay. You know, we had the one ed class together, and then I had one more, and then it was like all of a sudden now Kimberly has like 100. How did that happen? So it's been exciting, and I thank you for sharing, and I think if anything, it's just refreshing to know that there's so much out there and new opportunities to continue to grow these programs and support our students. So yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I know we're short on time. We're out of time, and I did have a few updates, so I will just send the updates and upcoming events back out in an email to everyone, along with the information from Kimberly.
Oh, great. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.